What if you refused to call your tragedy final? What if, in the face of the absolute worst, something inside you just said, no? This isn't just a motivational thought. It's the true story of a woman whose faith was so stubborn it stared death in the face and refused to blink. Her story is found in the Old Testament, in the book of 2 Kings. We don't even know her name. She's simply called the Shunammite woman. She was a wealthy, respected woman who showed incredible kindness to the prophet Elisha, building a room for him in her home so he'd always have a place to rest. Elisha, moved by her generosity, wanted to repay her. He asked, "What can I do for you?" His servant noticed she had no children and her husband was old. So Elisha prophesied, "About this time next year, you will hold a son in your arms." The woman could hardly believe it. It seemed too good to be true. But just as Elisha said, she gave birth to a son. This boy was her miracle, the joy of her life, the promise of God made real. Years passed. The boy grew. And then the unthinkable happened. One day, while out in the field with his father, the boy cried out, "My head! My head!" He was rushed home to his mother, and there, in her lap, he died. Imagine the crushing weight of that moment. The miracle she had been given was snatched away. The laughter in her home silenced. The promise broken. Most people would have collapsed in grief, surrounded by wailing and mourning. But this woman, she did something different. She didn't scream. She didn't fall apart. She laid her son on the bed in the prophet's room, the very room built on faith and kindness. She closed the door. She said to her husband, "Send me a servant and a donkey. I need to go to the man of God quickly." Her husband was confused. Why today? It's not a special festival. And her response is one of the most powerful declarations of faith in the entire Bible. She just said, "It will be well." In Hebrew, shalom, peace. Can you imagine? With her dead son lying upstairs, she declared peace. She wasn't in denial. She was in defiance. She refused to accept this tragedy as the final word. She rode with fierce urgency to find Elisha. When he saw her coming, he sent his servant to ask, "Is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with the child?" And again, through what must have been unspeakable pain, she answered, "It is well. Shalom." She got to Elisha, fell at his feet, and poured out her heart, her anguish finally breaking through. Elisha, understanding the gravity, sent his servant ahead with his staff. But the woman's faith was not in a relic. It was in the God who worked through the prophet. She told Elisha, "As surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you." So Elisha went with her. When they arrived back at the house, he went into the room where the boy lay. He shut the door, prayed to the Lord, and stretched himself out over the boy's body. The child's body began to warm. He did it again, and the boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha called the Shunammite woman and said, "Take your son." Her miracle was restored. Her child was brought back to life, not just because of a prophet's power, but because a mother's faith refused to accept loss. She looked at a closed door and said, "This is not the end of the story." She looked at death and said, "It will be well." Her story challenges us. When we face our own "it's over" moments, a diagnosis, a breakup, a failure, do we accept it as final? Or do we, like her, saddle our donkey in defiance and declare shalom over the situation, trusting that the author of our story isn't finished writing the chapter yet? Her child was restored because her faith refused despair. If this touched your spirit, like, share, and subscribe for more.